Recording in progress.
There's none like you.
Just go to work, shall we pray together? Say your prayers, lifting up your names, glory stand. Yeah, you are so worthy to be praised. We magnify your name, we lift you up. You're the only one.
How many of you know there's none like you? God. We're on our way. Rock Vibe Gospel. Come on in. If you're not there, come on over. I'm waiting.
Touch my heart like you do.
Good evening, Doctor.
I can search for all eternity, Lord. Yeah, and find
there is none like you.
Like you. For the truth and trust in His name. Oh, get our youth.
Good evening, my sister.
On them streets, on them children, cause evil come every day. You see, can I come take one away? You know, Babylon come take one brother away.
See what's going on. Good evening, Miss Green. How are you?
I'm fine, thank God. There's none like you. Good night, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone. I hope everybody had a great day. It's raining over here in the Big A. It's getting chilly, too. Woo! But I love it. If not a rock ride, come on over. It's time.
It's not like you.
There's none like you. There's none like you, Lord. And that's why we love you so much. There's none like you. Welcome to Rock Vibe Gospel. If you're not on, come on over to Rock Vibe. Good evening, everyone. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. I got it together. I'm getting there, right? Come on over to Rock Vibe tonight, 9 o'clock to 10:38 p.m. And on Sunday mornings, we have morning Reverend Dr. Green on Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. I'm so excited today because we have Dr. Akins on. Yes, my family. Yes. Anyway, come on over. Nightly discussions. You can join us by calling 718-300-1772. Come on over to Zoom. Yes, come on over to Zoom so you can see what's being read and what's being spoke about. Amen. You can see the slides. Come on and coming into 829-600-2407 and type in number 5, lowercase k, capital ZXZ number 6. Come on over to Zoom. If you can't come to Zoom, come on over to Facebook. Like and share. Come to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Download the app on your Roku TV and download it by typing in Rock by Gospel Radio. Amen. We're live on YouTube, a whole lot of multiple platforms. So we're glad that you all are in. Whoever's not in can come in. If you're not coming in, just watch the recording, listen to the recordings, and just come on in. Come on in. Yes, Dr. Akins, good evening. It's good to see you all again. And I'm going to leave it in your hands.
Well, good evening, great evening. It's so good to see you tonight, Evangelist Green,
Yes,
especially with all the positive energy. Always makes us feel good.
I'm trying.
All right. Big salute to Dr. Green. I know you're out there in the atmosphere listening to us, and you'll try to join in as soon as possible. Sister Carol, good to have you again. And to everyone on the multiple platforms, it's a blessing to have you each week. And we're back and ready to get started once again, picking up where we left off. We have been talking about powerful ways to cultivate self-discipline. We know we all need discipline. We also need self-discipline, right, in order to be successful spiritually and naturally. And so we're trying to discuss ways that we cultivate, that we are very intentional, responsible, and we make the necessary investments spiritually and naturally to cultivate self-discipline. The first thing we've talked about is to pay the price and invest in a coach. It's important. I think we all need one because coaches help us to provide information and instruction that leads to positive results. And we all want their results, but we don't always know how to change the equation. And coaches will help us to be able to do that. The scriptures advise us to always seek wise counsel, right? And so that wise counsel comes from the duty experts, the people with the good information, right? And so we make that investment because that's important, right? Whether that's time, energy, effort, attention, money, whatever it is, right? To get the information that we need. The second thing is be sure to create good habits. We talked about atomic habits and how important it is to create habits, right? Because whenever we set goals, we have to create good habits surrounding those goals because that's how we achieve them. So it's important to create good habits. And in order to create good habits, we have to stop the bad ones, right? And then number three, we always wake up on time. Hopefully you all have been doing that, right? Picking a time where you can wake up and, right, the Most High is responsible for waking us up. We're responsible for how we wake up. And so we want to make sure that we have a good wake up time and we're very consistent with it, right? We talked about social jet lag and how that works, right? So we want to make sure that we're not suffering from that or creating that for ourselves. The fourth thing we talked about is make a decision to eat healthy, right? Changing the way we eat. The Most High has always been concerned about human consumption, what we put in our mouths, right? How we feed our bodies, just like how we feed our mind, how we feed our spirit. All those things are important because everything in life is about human consumption, right? What we see, hear, taste, touch, smell. And we have to scrutinize that, right? To make sure that we're intaking the proper information, right? Things that are healthy to us and not unhealthy. Okay? Number 5, we talked about make a commitment to exercise daily. Right? Let's get it in, Evangelist Green, right? We got to get it in. Oh, yeah. It's important. Get the body moving, right? Guess what? Today was day 99. Yes.
Hey, go ahead.
Consecutive days. Feeling good, right? Excited about it. So we know what tomorrow is, right? So I'm always looking forward to the next day, right? But I want to win the day every day, right? And you know, when I look in the mirror now, I can see what the hard work is, that it's paying off, right? And so that's a good thing. We want to just keep moving, right? That's the thing. Just never miss your appointment with the work, and positive results are inevitable. So make a commitment to exercise daily. Also make a commitment to drink more water. Right? There we go. Get that water intake. Because once you push it out, there you go. Evangelist Green, she got her water. Right? So once you push it out, you got to put it back in. Right? Put it back in. Got to refuel. Get yourself back going once again. So those are the things that we've been talking about. Because listen, those things are simple to do, but they're also easy not to do. Does everybody understand that? And so that's the reason why we need those things to help us cultivate self-discipline, because those things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Okay? All right. So, any questions about that? We can go over it real quick. If not, we're going to move into number 7 here, which is, let's talk about be sure to set clear goals. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about setting clear goals. And we're going to talk about a familiar, right? This familiar topic, which is SMART goals. That's SMART, SMART goals. We're also going to talk about having an action plan. So you'll be talking about SMART goals and action plan. All right, so we're going to talk about that next. Excuse me. All right, let's roll into it. So benefits of goal setting. All right, let's talk about that. Some benefits of goal setting. Number 1, goal setting provides direction. Okay, goal setting provides direction. We always want to know what direction we are heading. Okay, what direction we're heading. And goal setting provides the direction to where we're headed. Okay. Number 2, goal setting gives you clear focus, which means you have something to move towards. So once you have your direction, goal setting gives you clear focus. It gives you something to move towards. Okay. It also increases the potential. This is number 3. It increases the potential for greater productivity. Because once you have a direction, it establishes a clear destination. I know where I'm going, right? And so when I know where I'm going, it increases the potential for greater productivity. It's just like putting a destination into a GPS. Once I have the destination, I have clear focus, something to move towards, and then it increases the potential for greater productivity because everything I do at that point is going to take me to that destination. Okay. Number 4, it gives you clarity. That's the who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's the importance, right, of goal setting. It gives you clarity. Number 5, it also creates better boundaries around how you spend your time because we all have time currency. It is important how we spend the time that we have. There's a time given unto all things under heaven. So we have to be very mindful how we allocate that time. And when you have goals clearly established, it helps you create good boundaries around how you spend your time. Does that make sense? So we don't want impulse spending naturally as it relates to our finances. We also don't want impulse spending as it relates to our time currency. So we want to have boundaries, right? Boundaries around how we spend our time currency. Number 6, it provides accountability. Okay, it provides accountability, which we all need. Okay, we need personal accountability. Number 7, it allows you to make decisions toward a desired outcome. So all of my decisions are centered on whatever that desired outcome is. I'm going to make decisions that are in alignment with that. Because once I know where I'm going, I also know what roads don't take me there. And so now I begin to govern my decisions based on what my outcome or my desired outcome is. Okay. Number 8, it helps to control your destiny. Right? It helps to control your destiny. That's ultimately where we end up. And number 9, it provides intrinsic motivation because I have a clear motive, right? And motive is the active energy that generates motivation, right? And so I want to create intrinsic motivation instead of being extrinsically motivated by things on the outside. I want the burning desire to be on the inside. Okay? Goal setting also provides inspiration. Okay. And I like to, when I think about inspiration, it's like having the wick to the candle, right? And so goal setting will provide that for you, because when you have that burning desire on the inside, the wick is what keeps it burning. So I have to have that inspiration. Everybody get it? Now, I'm going to try to get past this video but make sure you guys got a screenshot of this so you have this information. I would definitely like to share this video, but I want to, if I could see what video I shared. The video is about, let me see if I could get the title of it, Setting Smart Goals, How to Properly Set a Goal. So if you could go, you probably could go to YouTube on your own time and look up Setting Smart Goals, How to Properly Set a Goal, and you may be able to watch that on your own. Okay?
Dr. Akins, my apologies, but I did not get that screenshot in time. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
All right. All right. Setting smart goals, how to properly set a goal. Okay. So go and watch that, and then let me know your thoughts. All right. So let me give you a quote and the meaning, something that you can take with you. All right. The quote says, pray and refine your choices using scriptural principles. It is the most intelligent and effective means of goal setting and decision making. So what do? You pray and you refine your choices using scriptural principles. So you pray as if everything depends on him, but you work as if everything depends on you. So when you combine those two things together, prayer and the refining of your choices using scriptural principles, it is the most intelligent and effective means of goal setting and decision making. So everybody see how the two go together, right? That's the interdependence that is required. He who does everything does not do anything without us. So we pray, that's important. So we're communing and we're having that constant communication with the Father. The Father gives directions in multitudes of ways, provides us with scriptural principles, gives us good, wise counsel through human beings, right, to tell us the direction that we should be going. We take that information because that provides us with the most intelligent and effective means of goal setting and decision making. So let's talk about what that means. Y'all got a screenshot so we can talk about what it means. All right. So here's what it means. This quote emphasizes a theologically grounded and spiritually discerning approach to life planning. Philosophically, it asserts that true wisdom does not arise merely from rational calculation or emotional impulse, but from aligning human will with divine truth. Prayer, in this sense, is not a passive ritual, but an active engagement with transcendent wisdom, inviting divine perspective into personal circumstances. Refinement of choices through scriptural principles suggests a process of sanctified reasoning, where values, ethics, and long-term vision are filtered through the lens of timeless truth. Grammatically, the structure flows logically. The imperative pray and refine calls for action, followed by a declarative affirmation of why this method surpasses others in both intelligence and effectiveness. It presents a holistic strategy, one that integrates spiritual sensitivity with moral clarity to navigate the complexities of goals and decisions. Ultimately, it elevates prayerful, scripture-informed deliberation as the highest form of intentional living, rooted in the belief that the Most High's wisdom offers the most reliable foundation for fruitful outcomes. Y'all see that? So So there's a lot to say there, all right? But it's important for us to understand, like when you hear me say things, I say things for a reason, but there's a lot that goes into the things that I say. And sometimes people miss it, and that's why I like to explain it on the back end so people really have an understanding. So when the book comes out and you get it and you read a quote, I also provide in the book, right, my email address so that if any quote comes out and you don't quite understand it and you want to make sure that you walk away with the right understanding, all you simply have to do is email me, tell me what quote it is and what page, and all I will simply do is email you back. I'll provide you with the screenshot of the quote and the summary of what the quote means, and you walk away with the right understanding. And one of the things that we typically do as people is we read what people say and we think we understand what they mean. But when you have the opportunity to ask the author, that's the best way to get clarity, right? Don't walk away thinking you understand, but ask the person, what are you trying to say to me? Because that's the intent of the author, is to get a message across to you as the reader. And so when you're fortunate enough to be able to ask the author, I would recommend that you do so, right? So that's the best time to ask the question, is when you have that opportunity. Any questions on that?
Okay, this is the book that you're writing, or it is already out?
It's coming out, right? It's in the last stages of editing, and then it's going into print.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be out soon, very soon.
One question, Dr. Akins.
Yes.
Is a goal if it's not written down?
You hear people say that, like a goal is not a goal unless it's written down. Well, we know the scriptures even teach us to do that, right? To write it down, write the goals down, right? Make it plain upon tables. And, when the scriptures talk about writing the vision and writing the vision down and writing it upon tables, that was important, right? Because when you write goals down, they become your own personal contract with yourself, right? If you don't write them down, they're just like a wish. And so it's important to write them down. So now you can see them, they become tangible. You take them out of your head and you put paper, and it's like writing a contract with yourself. And then now you can see it. Now you have it clear, it's written down, and now you can commit to what you have written. So it's important to make what's in your head come to life by putting it on paper. So yes, it is very important to write those goals down.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we understand setting clear goals. Let's move to number 8, which is do everything in your power to meet deadlines. All right. So now once we set goals, right, and there's a number of quotes in there about goal setting. So you have an opportunity to be able to really get some good information. But do everything in your power to meet deadlines. Okay. Do everything in your power to meet deadlines. Now, I'm going to say something really quick because I want you to understand this and just pay attention to it. Sometimes you'll see the words self-starter. Anybody ever seen self-starter in a job description?
Yeah.
Right? They're looking for a self-starter. But what they really mean is they're looking for a person who is self-disciplined enough to make and meet deadlines without a lot of outside influence. That's what they're talking about. So when they say they're looking for a self-starter, that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for a person who is self-disciplined and they're able to meet their deadlines with little to no outside influence. They're not looking for a person just to get started. They're looking for a person who can finish. Right? Yes. A self-starter is a finisher. They get started and they finish with little to no outside influence. That's what they're looking for. And you want to be the kind of person that finishes, that meets your deadlines on time. Okay, so let's talk about some things to remember as it relates to meeting deadlines. Some of this you may have heard before, and that's great. Anything worth saying once is worth being heard often. So let's do this. Make sure the deadline is reasonable and realistic. So now we got goals set, right? Now we got to meet the deadlines associated with those goals, right? So let's make sure the deadline is reasonable and realistic. We never set goals without deadlines associated with them, because smart goals have to be, when we are setting smart goals, we have to make sure that those goals are specific, that they're measurable, that they're attainable, they're realistic, and lastly, that they're timely. That's why they're SMART. S-M-A-R-T. The T in SMART is for timeliness. You want to make sure that you have deadlines associated with those goals. When do I plan? What is my estimated arrival time? What is my estimated date of completion? Does everybody see how that works? Because once they're time bound, then you have a deadline that you know you have to meet. Okay, so make sure the deadline is reasonable and realistic. Be sure to make a commitment to the task. It is not enough to make an agreement. And a lot of times that's what we do. We enter into an agreement and we have to be sure that we commit to that task. That goes with everything that we do. If we sign a contract for service, if we go into an agreement to receive funds up front, and then we have to pay those funds back, that's called a debt, right? We have to make sure we commit to that task, because within that task is a deadline that you're going to meet your agreement by this date for this amount. Does everybody see how that works? Right? So what are we doing? It's not enough to just make that agreement and then not meet your deadline. Because if you don't meet your deadline, then there are penalties associated with not meeting your deadline, and rightfully so, because that's what you agreed on. I've talked to clients before who don't do anything but complain about late fees, as if that's something being imposed on them, right? And it's unwarranted. No, if you didn't meet your deadline the way that you're supposed to, guess what? The late fee is a reminder.
That's right.
It's a punishment, right? Properly imposed on those who don't meet their agreement. They made an agreement, but they didn't commit to the task. Does everybody see how it works? All right. Number 3, understand the specifics before getting started. Okay, understand the specifics. When you got to meet a deadline, you got to have the specifics. Don't enter into that agreement unless you understand the specifics before you get started. Apply the same principles that the scripture tells us, and something's in my eye, that we have to, with all of our getting, we must get understanding, right? So the understanding is to get the specifics before you get started. In other words, read the fine print. We love to do things without reading the fine print. So we're signing up for things and we don't clearly understand what we're signing up for. Read the fine print.
Yeah.
Like everything in the scriptures is for us to be able to leverage so that we make the best decisions spiritually and naturally. It's not just that we win spiritually. We have to take those principles and make them practical in our day-to-day lives. Does everybody understand? So it's not just getting the understanding of the scriptures. It is also getting understanding on the physical plane. Reading the fine print, just like we have to go in line. So we say, read the fine print. What does the scripture say? Line upon line, precept upon precept. That's about the fine print. Does everybody see how that works? Yes, we have to get all of that data so we have a clear understanding, all of the specifics before we get started. Number 4, take copious notes. Take copious notes. It's important for us to get a lot of information written down. And as we get that information written down, it's very responsible to set notifications so you don't forget. Listen, all of us that have one of these electronic devices, do you know what this is to me? This is my personal secretary. My personal secretary, right? I pay her every month. Y'all got to see how I'm set this up for you. I pay this secretary every month to do great work for me. She makes sure I'm where I'm supposed to be, that I don't forget anything, right? That I'm up on time. Like this girl, like I got everything in this one device right here. I got a great secretary. She talks to me, but she don't talk back. Y'all understand? Tells me everything I need to know. And so what I'm trying to tell you is you utilize this. Most of us have a cell phone, but we do not set notifications. Why? It has the capability. You won't forget anything if you set your notifications properly. My notifications are going off all day long, every single day, telling me where I need to be, what I should be doing, reminding me all the information that I need. It's right here in this device. If you set it up properly, it will tell you who's calling. It will tell you everything, right? Set it up and utilize the device properly. How you doing, sir? All right. So take your copious notes, set your notifications so you can always meet your deadlines. Number 5, cut the task into smaller pieces. Why? Because the whole is a sum of its parts. So whenever you have an assignment, whenever you have a deadline you have to meet, let's break that down. Whatever that task is, let's break that down into smaller pieces. If you break it down into smaller pieces, you can consume it better, right? We've heard it be said that how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And that's what you have to do, is you have to break it down into smaller pieces and get it done. That's paying very close attention to what you have to do, and you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay, so even when you're itemizing your day, you have a full day of work to do, evening and morning, but if you break it down into smaller pieces, you can focus in on what you should be doing at that particular time, not necessarily focusing on everything else, because when the time comes, you'll get that done. So you don't need to interrupt what you should be doing now. Like most people love to catastrophize. They love to talk about, I got so much to do today. No, the question is, what should you be doing right now? If you got a 3:00 appointment and it's 9:30 in the morning, why are you spending brain power on what you have scheduled for 3:00 in the afternoon? That makes no sense. It's 9. What should you be doing? You should be doing what you should be doing at 9:00, and that's where all your mental focus should be. Do I understand? Because if you have your day set up properly, all of your resources and everything you need to leverage at 3:00 will be there when that time comes. Because your preparation has put you in position to leverage what you need to leverage at 3:00. So don't put that brain power in and mess up the moment where you are. Stay mindful of where you are and be where your feet are. Does everybody understand? So that's important. You know, I go from evolution to evolution. And so what I was doing before I came on the radio, I was focused on that. I was not focused on the radio. When the time came for me to be on the radio, now my focus is only on the radio. I'm not thinking about anything I have to do after 10:30. Right? And so I just stay in the moment, and that's where we need to be, because a lot of time we're wasting mental energy and effort at the wrong time. There's a time given to everything. So what am I supposed to be doing at this moment? And that's how you practice mindfulness. Anybody ever been spending time with somebody and their body is with you, but their mind is somewhere else? Yes. That's what, so we're being guilty of not really being present because we're somewhere else that we should be doing at a different time. So I understand? So we have to make sure that we don't do that to ourselves or to other people because we're not present or in the moment when we should be. Does everybody get that?
That's right.
All right. Number 6, work in a bubble. Now, what do you think I mean when I say work in a bubble? When you work in a bubble, you eliminate distractions. So that goes along with what I was just talking about. If you're having date night or if you're having lunch with someone, eliminate distractions.
Right.
Does everybody understand? Right? So my accountability partner always sets do not disturb, but there are only people who can break through that notification, right? So if you say, hey, I'm at a lunch right now and I'm with a client or I'm with someone having a conversation, I can set my phone on do not disturb. There are only few people who can break through that time. Everyone else would have to wait until that appointment is over with. Why? It's because I'm working in a bubble and I am eliminating distractions because I owe the person, right, that I wrote that check for to spend time with them. I owe them that attention.
Right.
Does everybody see that?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I commit myself to that time because I wrote a check for that moment in time. And I should be paying full attention to the person that I'm spending that time with.
Exactly.
Any questions or comments on that? So we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of that, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Number 7, leverage your resources to work smarter, faster. Right? Leverage your resources. I think we all have them. I don't think we all leverage them the way that we should. Leverage your resources. We love to do all the heavy lifting. And sometimes it's not necessary. We have resources that we can leverage to get things done smarter, faster. Right? So leverage the resources that you have. Okay, leadership is a shared responsibility. So share that responsibility with the team. That's important. Okay, we get things done smarter, faster by doing that. Okay. Number 8, establish time blocks. Organization is a key to success. So we have certain time blocks in order for us to get certain things done. We've got deadlines we got to meet. So we're going to establish time blocks to get that work accomplished. Okay. Number 9, make your effort match your expectations. Put in extra work when necessary. So you want to make your effort match your expectations. So if I expect for something to be done a certain way or at a certain time, then I have to make my effort match my expectations. It's like when you're running. If you're running and you say, okay, I want to get 2 miles in a certain amount of time, I have to make my effort match my expectations. If I want to finish this 2-mile run at a certain time, my pace must be such that I get that done. That's how you make your effort match your expectations. You can't run 2 miles and try to make it in a certain amount of time as if you got all the time in the world. No, you don't. If you want to make it in that amount of time, you have to pick up the pace. Does everybody see that? Right? You're going to have to pick up the pace. Okay? Also, communicate challenges early. but do not complain. Okay, communicate challenges early, but do not complain. There's a difference. There's a difference between communicating what challenges you have to face and complaining. Complaints chip away at your belief and self-confidence. This is the reason why you don't want to complain, because complaints will chip away at your belief and self-confidence. So communicate your challenges early, but do not complain. Number 11, you will not meet deadlines consistently if you are a professional excuse maker, right? You will not meet your deadlines consistently if you are a professional excuse maker, right? If that's something you've been doing, this is not a judgment session, right? This is a come to Jesus meeting. Right now, you got to figure that out. You'll never be able to meet your deadlines consistently if you're a professional excuse maker. Stop making excuses, right? Stop making excuses and start getting the job done. Okay? Number 12, do not procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Now, we can all be guilty of that, right? But do not procrastinate. Get things done. Number 13, front load any activities that require the help of others. You've heard me say this before. If you have something to do and it requires the help of others, front load those activities. You don't want to be on the back end of meeting a deadline and you have to wait for other people. If you got to do anything that requires the help of other people, front load those activities as much as you possibly can. So at the end, when it's crunch time, you ain't relying on nobody but yourself. Right. It's all you have to get done. Now you can set your own pace and get it done quickly. Number 14, progress reports are a good way to eliminate surprises and guard against disappointment. So give your progress reports. Do that for yourself. Also do that to people that you have to report to. Give them progress reports. What's working, what's not working, where you are, how things are looking, right? It will guard against disappointment. 15, make a command decision 48 hours from the deadline or 2 hours prior to the deadline. If you have something to do at 12, by 10 o'clock a.m., right, you should be making a command decision on whether or not you're going to meet that goal or not. And then give that progress report that says, hey, sir, hey, ma'am, we're good to go. I'll have it into you by 12. Right? Now that guards against any surprises or disappointments. So 48 hours prior to your deadline or 2 hours prior to your deadline. Does everybody see how that works? These are just things that I want you to remember when you have to meet deadlines. And if you put these things, right, you implement these things into your daily practices, it will clean up what we're messing up.
Like they say, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, practice makes you good. Right? And so what we have to do is we have to just keep working at getting better. Right?
That's right.
Because perfection is the highest possible aim. That's the goal. That's where we're headed. We have to just keep practicing. We get better and better and better, right? Good, better, best first, and then how do the best of the best get better and better? We got to keep doing it. Right? Do it over and over and over and over. So incorporate these things into your daily practices and you get better. You get better every day. Okay? All right, take a screenshot of that so you have that information. Those are 15 things to remember. All right, I'm going to give you another quote, and I'll give you the definition. All right, the quote says, a good success plan always puts a deadline on decision making and a high priority on subsequent action. So a good success plan, whenever you have a good success plan, it always puts a deadline on decision making and a high priority on subsequent action. So what does that mean? So let's move on here and talk about what it means. Okay. So a well-devised success plan is not merely a collection of goals, aspirations, and theoretical intentions. It is a framework that balances critical thinking with disciplined execution. One of the most overlooked truths about achievement is that decisions, no matter how carefully considered, lose their power when left open-ended. A plan that does not impose a deadline on decision-making risks becoming stagnant, paralyzed by endless analysis, fear, or perfectionism. Time-bound decisions compel movement. They transform abstract intentions into defined commitments. But decision-making alone is not the destination. It is the gateway. Once choices are made, the success of any endeavor hinges on the urgency and priority placed on subsequent action. The best laid plans collapse under the weight of inaction. Philosophically, this speaks to the essential interplay between contemplation and movement. Thought initiates, but action fulfills. In every culture, discipline, and walk of life, success is a product not only of knowing what to do, but also of doing it promptly, persistently, and purposefully. Thus, a truly effective success plan is both time conscious and action oriented. It limits indecision and accelerates follow through, honoring the principle that greatness is not achieved just through wise choices, but through the timely and tireless pursuit of their realization. So everybody see that? So the good success plan, it's going to have that in it.
Okay.
All right. And at this point, would be where I would share a video with you. So I'm going to go by this really quick.
We all know that
So you can
deadlines
see
are crucial to a project.
how to meet each and every one of your priorities, right? So let's see. Your project deadlines. How to meet each and every one of your project deadlines. So you can look that up on YouTube. How to meet each and every one of your project deadlines. It's a great video that will help you. All right. Any questions on that?
No, you're doing good so far. Anybody
Okay.
have questions on Facebook or any social media, just kindly type it in. And thank you, my brother, for the compliment. He says, God be praises. Thank God for this program. Thank you so much.
All right. Awesome. Now, and listen, these things are important because it goes along with when we talk about letting or allowing our light to shine. That's important because the light of the gospel is about the principles and the practices that it requires that we as believers adhere to. When we adhere to those principles and practices, it shines light through the darkness. It illuminates, right? It illuminates the atmosphere so that people who are in darkness see the direction they should be headed. When you're fumbling around in darkness, you don't have direction, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And when you see the light, that's the direction that you go. So when people see our lives based on what we produce, and we can only produce it based on the light of the gospel. So when we see the principles and the practices written and we adhere to them, we become the light. And in becoming the light, now when people are fumbling around in darkness with no clear direction, they look to where the light shines, and then they start walking toward that light. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
And the closer they get to the light, the more the light reveals. Does everybody see that? That's why that's important. And so we have to make sure that we commit to that moral obligation. We have the obligation to do that. That's why we can't fumble around and not produce things. When we take the name, we have to take the name and produce something with it. We have a moral obligation to do that. We cannot take that name in vain. If you're going to take the name, you have a moral obligation to be productive, because everything is for his very name's sake. Because he co-signs what we do. Does everybody understand? He co-signs what we do. Like think about it this way. Mercedes is a brand name, is it not?
It is.
Okay. The brand itself don't make vehicles. People do.
Exactly.
Yes, and so the people who are responsible for the various parts that they create and come together collaboratively to make that vehicle, the work you do is important to the brand name. That's why you have to do your part, and you have to do your part correctly, because it's all a part of the brand name's sake. Everything that you do for the brand name's sake. Does everybody see how that works?
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a natural example for you to understand the importance of each and every one of us and the part that we play in everything we do for his name's sake. That's important. So everything that we do has his name on it. So when we take the name, it's like when I take the position in the company of Mercedes, now I am in the name. And everything I do in the name has his signature on it. I am either promoting the brand or I am polluting the brand. So what am I doing? You should be promoting the brand. Mm-hmm. And everything I do makes the brand attractive to other people.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Everybody get it?
That's it.
Yeah. So we have a moral obligation to produce. We don't just get to say that we are in him and don't produce.
Mm-hmm.
No, we see it's in the scriptures. Right? Productivity, prosperity is a part of the moral obligation that we have. Mm-hmm. You have to produce. That's the expectation, is to produce. The fig tree that gives a false impression and doesn't produce gets cursed.
Yes.
Yes, you don't get to give the false impression as if you have something there and you don't have it.
You don't have nothing.
Exactly. You don't get to do. Does everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's why it's important. All right. And we have to be taught these things. This is why when the scriptures tell us to move on from the principles of the doctrine or the basic foundational principles of the doctrine and go on to perfection, it's talking about living the kind of lives that are geared toward your highest possible aim. That's perfection. Let's go on to perfection. Perfection is the highest possible aim. It's Jacob's ladder. How do I keep climbing to being my highest self? How do you get there? And being your higher self is about how you balance out your life spiritually and naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I get there? And the highest possible aim is what I'm always reaching for. Because even though if I'm reaching for the highest possible aim, even if I don't achieve it, I'll get to excellence. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
Grace is going to make up the difference because I'm always striving for the highest possible aim. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Wow, that's my highest possible aim. Let me climb based on these principles and practices to get there. I'm not comparing myself to Dr. Green. I'm not comparing myself to Evangelist Green. I'm not comparing myself to Sister Carol. I am holding myself accountable against the standard, the divine standard. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
I'm striving to be more like him, not like them.
All right.
That's right.
So when people inquire about how you do what you do, the scriptures tell us to be ready to give an answer.
Mm.
When they say, how do you produce that, sis? Sir, how do you produce that? Then you can itemize what you do based on what the scripture says. I hold myself accountable to a higher standard. And these are the things that I do. When they ask you, well, how do you always meet your deadlines? Man, you're never late with anything. Well, according to the scriptural standard, like, how do you do that and your supervisor mistreats you and talk to you any kind of way? Well, according to the scriptural standard, it tells me to do all things as unto the Most High and not unto men. So I'm not necessarily, listen, my supervisor on the physical plane, right? That's my supervisor. But I have a boss on high.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And my boss on high supersedes my supervisor.
Right.
So I do my work every day according to the boss's standard.
Preach. Mm-hmm.
And according to the boss's standard, I don't have to be worried about what the supervisor does because the boss overrides that supervisor.
Every
yes.
time.
And if the supervisor mistreats me, vengeance is not mine.
You accept the Lord.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, I have a standard that I live by. And so when people inquire about how do you get the results you get, you should be able to itemize that. When they say, how do you meet your deadlines? I guess they gave you 15 things that you can tell them that you do. And then they can go and get the same kind of results you get doing the same kind of things you do based on the same. That's why when the scripture says we should all speak the same thing, have the same judgment, and have the same mind. How do we do that? Because we have the same principles and the same practices.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on that? Any comments?
Mm. We should all speak the same thing and have the same judgment. That's very important to, a prayer that we say all the time. When we say, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. If we are not following the leader, by using the same judgment and thinking the same way, we will, everyone will go in different directions and never achieve what the prayer is saying or what we are reciting. And that's very, very important to really keep in mind when we recite these scriptures.
Yeah, well, think about it this way, sir. I'll give you an example of everything that I've been teaching, because a lot of times people will be like, well, why is he teaching this? Why is he teaching that? And that just shows how we can be sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you how it all aligns. We're going to use what you just said, which is kind of what I just said about how the scripture says we should all speak the same thing, have the same judgment, and the same mind. Now, when it says the same mind, we understand now, based on the teaching, that that is about mentality and mindsets.
Yes.
So we should have the same mind. It means we should have the same mentality with the mindsets that are subsets to the mentality. So when we understand that properly, now we say, well, how do we obtain that? Here's how. Let's think about everything that we just talked about to powerful ways to cultivate self-discipline. The first thing is that we always get our information from the experts. Why? Because the scripture tells us to always seek wise counsel. It does not say seek advice. It says to seek wise counsel. Does everybody understand? Because those things are not the same. What's the first principle that we taught? Pay the price and invest in a coach. Someone that can provide you with information and instructions that leads to positive results. How do I get positive results? You have to talk to the experts, because the experts will tell you how to get that done. Does everybody see that? So now, if Evangelist Green is, watch this. Now, this is how we all speak the same thing, have the same judgment and the same mind. If Evangelist Green is paying the price to get a coach, so is Dr. Green. So is Sister Carol, so is Dr. Akins. So there's not going to be any differences among us, because why? We all have the habit of going to the very best to get our information, and it does not matter what it costs us.
That's right.
Right? We're always looking to get the best service. Does everybody see that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm willing to pay the price for it. Listen, that vehicle that I got in the garage there, every time I need service, if I need an oil change, you know who changed the oil for that vehicle? Not Jiffy Lube. They didn't make it.
The dealer.
Just the name.
Yes. You know the reason why we don't go to the dealer? Because we always say it costs too much. Don't we say that?
Yeah.
Every time.
No, it don't cost too much. You just can't afford it.
That's right.
There we go. You just can't afford. Now, this is what I tell. When you come to, remember, you got to come to the experts. The experts will tell you. This is what I tell people all the time. Just because you can afford to make the monthly payment, don't mean you can afford the vehicle.
Right.
So if you can't afford to take the vehicle to the dealer to get the oil change, then you can make the monthly payment, but you cannot afford the vehicle because you can't handle the maintenance. If you can't handle maintenance, that's not a wise decision. See, what we end up doing is making decisions and then seeking counsel instead of going to seek the counsel first to make sure that we're getting ready to make the right decision. Does everybody follow it?
Yeah.
That's important, making sure that we can do that. Here's the reason why I want to go back to the vehicle, go back to the dealer, Dr. Green. The reason why I want to go back to the vehicle is, watch this, because they have an obligation to the name that's on the vehicle.
Exactly. Definitely.
Yes. Jiffy Lube don't have, that's the reason why they'll strip, when they change your oil, they'll strip it. Your oil pan, you'll end up having to get a brand new oil pan. Why? Because they'll strip it, man. When they're pulling it off, they ain't got no commitment to the name on your vehicle.
No.
But when you take it to the dealer can't afford to do that because that's their vehicle. Even though it's yours, that's their brand name. They're going to always do what they are supposed to do, or they're going to get held accountable for it. They're just as much committed to your vehicle as you are.
That's right.
So that's why that's important. So pay the price and invest in a coach. You're getting the best information. That's the principle. Here's how we all speak the same thing. Be sure to always create good habits. If I'm creating good habits and you're creating good habits, and Evangelist Green is creating good habits, and Sister Carol creating good habits, we're only creating the good habits based on the principles and the practices that are written.
Yes.
These are written for a time or written for our learning. You follow me?
That's right.
To the same source to get our information. So our practices are going to be the same because our principles are the same. So people who see you see the same kind of things from me. Does everybody see how that works?
Yes. Yeah.
And they should, because we're all in the same family. If we're in the same family, they should see similarities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you were all children raised in the same house, they should see similarities in the upbringing.
Mm.
Does everybody see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything worked together for good.
Yeah, sir. If I'm waking up on time, guess what Dr. Green is doing?
The same thing.
Waking up on time.
He ain't waking up at the same time, but he's waking up on time. Does everybody see? Yes, he's waking up on time. You won't find him not up on time. You ain't gonna find Evangelist Green not up on time. If Dr. Green gets up at 4 and Evangelist Green, her designated time is to get up at 6, you won't find her at 6:15 still snoozing.
That's right.
No, she is up on time. That's the practice. We should all speak the same thing. So everybody's saying, get up on time. When you snooze, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
We're all saying the same thing. We're having the same judgment. How we see right and wrong, righteousness and unrighteousness, holy and unholy, that's judgment. How we see it is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The mentality and the mindset are the same. We're eating healthy. Evangelist Green's eating healthy. Dr. Green's eating healthy. Sister Carol's eating healthy. I'm eating healthy. Evangelist Green and I, we ain't eat no beets. You know, Carol might like beets. Eat your beets. But we're going to eat some other things that's going to be equivalent to healthy diet. Is that not right, Evangelist Green? Exactly. But it just might not include beets, but it's going to be equivalent to beets. It's going to have the same kind of positive effect. Does everybody see it? Because our taste buds might be different, but we're still going to be dedicated to eating healthy. Does everybody see how that works? So we do speak the same thing, have the same judgment, have the same mind. Committed to exercising daily, committed to drinking more water, setting clear goals, right? Everything that we do, we're meeting our deadlines. This is the kind of behavior that becomes very common.
Yeah.
In the kingdom, things we do should be commonplace.
Exactly.
Now, here's what you do when you speak the same thing, have the same judgment, and have the same mind. You know what you create inside the kingdom? Common sense.
Common sense and stability.
Yes, that's what you create. Yes. Because that's what we have to do as leaders is we have to read from the book of the law and give the sense. That's what they did in the book of Nehemiah. They read from the book of the law daily, but the leadership had to give the sense so that the people understood the reading. They had to understand. They had to understand the scriptures. That's why leadership gotta have good sense. When leadership has good sense, it creates common sense among the people. If the people don't got common sense, I question whether or not the leadership got good sense.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody see how that works?
That's right.
All righty. Any questions or comments on that?
Yes, sir.
Well said.
I just thought about something here. Righteousness and unrighteousness, holy and unholy. These things, should be put into perspective in the assembly.
Yes.
Because, people comes in, they're looking to hear something that suits what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Not showing up, where they're coming up short. Maybe you heard me in one of my sermons, one of my speeches. I said, if every sermon that you hear on a Sunday or whatever time you go to your assembly, if every sermon finds you well, hop, skipping, and jumping, something is wrong with you, the sermon or the preaching. Because it had to find you short, where you come up short. We all come up short at some interval. And that's why you hear people talk about, oh, he preaching about me, I ain't going back. Because the sermon found you where you came up short. Makes sense?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally, what happens is when people hold themselves accountable based on the standard,
Yeah,
they will always see themselves coming up short.
that's right.
Because think about it, his ways are higher than our ways. Is that not the truth?
That's right.
Yeah. So he said that. I didn't say that. He said that.
Mm-hmm.
So if his ways are higher than our ways, then whenever we hold ourselves against his standard, the bar will always be higher than what we can clear.
Exactly.
Here's what happens though. In an environment where everybody sees themselves, or where people see themselves and they don't measure themselves against the standard, but they measure themselves against other people, that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Is if I measure myself against other people, I can think of myself more highly than I ought to, because as compared to this person, I may do more than them.
Right.
So now I start looking here instead of looking here.
Mm-hmm.
I measure myself against other people.
That's right.
Yeah. Like, just because you get to work before everybody else don't mean you get to work on time.
There you go.
Yeah, so like you 5 minutes late, everybody else 10 minutes late.
Yeah, everybody come up short.
But then what you'll do, because you beat everybody else there, here's what people will say. Well, I was the first one here. I got here before everybody else.
But you're still late.
But you're still late. See that? But when you compare yourself to everybody else, you start patting yourself on the back.
Yes, get comfortable in your
When you're
space.
accountable to the standard, you realize that, yeah, I beat everybody else. I was just the first late person. That's it. I was the first person.
First late person.
Yes, exactly. See how that works? So
Yeah.
you measure yourself against the standard. You don't measure yourself against other people. Okay? Does that make sense, right?
Make a lot of sense.
All right. So let's go to the next principle here, and we're going to wrap it up tonight with this. Put a bow on it. Always have a backup plan. Always, always, always have a backup plan. Now, when we talk about having a backup plan, I'm going to give you another way to look at it or say it so that you know we're saying the same thing. So you could say always have a backup plan is the same as having a contingency plan. But I'm going to talk about adaptability here. Let me give you a quote here really quick. Master the skill, because adaptability is a skill. Master the skill of adaptability. In an ever-changing world, you must be able and willing to reroute constantly without losing sight of your goals. That's the quote, right? That's what you have to master. You have to, just like a GPS, you must master. Don't lose your stuff. All of us come unglued. We come unglued so simple, right? Listen, things in life are going to be changing all the time. You must be able and willing to reroute constantly. That's what GPS does. If you make a wrong turn, the GPS don't stand there and complain and tell you, you shouldn't have turned there. Didn't I tell you to do this? No, I mean, the GPS just adjusts.
You adjust you right away.
It reroutes immediately.
Immediately.
Because it doesn't lose sight of its goal. That's what you have to do. When you make a wrong turn, when you make a wrong decision, when you make stop wallowing. Stop doing it. Reroute. Don't lose sight of your goal and adapt.
Right.
Does everybody see how that works?
Yeah.
Adapt. Now, let's talk about what that means. All right, so this quote underscores the indispensable virtue of adaptability in pursuit of meaningful success. In a world marked by rapid transformation, uncertainty, and shifting circumstances, rigidity becomes a liability. To master adaptability is not merely to tolerate change, but to skillfully navigate it, adjusting your methods, your paths, and pace without compromising your core purpose or ultimate destination. It is a conscious discipline of remaining both flexible and focused, agile, yet anchored. Philosophically, it echoes the principle that survival and growth belong not to the strongest or most intelligent, but to those most responsive to change. By embracing rerouting as a necessary and continuous process, you preserve the integrity of your vision while expanding your capacity to respond to life's unpredictable terrain. Because there's going to be highs, lows, ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys throughout life. You've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to reroute.
Yes.
Right? If you've ever done, anybody ever done a maze? You know how they put these mazes in these little books, right? And you make a wrong turn in the maze, you ain't got time to hit your head on the right, turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
That's how it works. When you're inside the maze, man, you took a wrong turn, get back out of there the same way you got in there.
That's it. Yep.
Yes. If you make a wrong turn and you end up at a dead end, that ain't time to get out and start kicking the tires and complaining and crying. Put that vehicle in reverse.
Turn around.
You better get out of that alley quick, because what hangs out in the back alley?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you stay in there too long, right? You allowed to be walking and not riding.
Yeah,
Get out of that back alley as soon as you can. Does everybody get it? Good things don't hang in the back alley. All right? All right, so let's see. I would normally share a video here with you. That video is about, so look for that on YouTube. There's always a plan B, all right? So let me do this real quick. We're going to talk about the importance of a backup plan. I'm going to give you some principles here, all right? So we can all speak the same thing, have the same judgment and the same mind. A backup plan, plan B, is a strategic contingency, not a sign of doubt, but a mark of wisdom and preparedness. That's how you got to see a backup plan. It is intentionally designed for scenarios that may or may not happen, but could carry significant consequences if they do. This is the reason why you got to have a backup plan. Listen, the best time to have a spare tire is when your 4 tires are working.
all right.
Let me say that again. The best time to have a spare tire is when your 4 tires are working.
Now, to somebody that don't understand, that sound backwards, right?
Yes, that's the best time to have a spare tire.
Yes.
4 tires are working. This is the reason why I tell people the best time to have a plan B. You better have an extra stream of income. You better have an extra. You got to always have a plan B. Does everybody understand how important that is? Yes.
Yeah.
The best time to have it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. Anybody, when you shop, I know Evangelist Green know what I'm talking about, right? When you shop, don't you have, anybody ever have a backup pack of toilet paper, backup pair, pack of, paper towels, soap? You got some stuff that you put in a private place. So if we ever just run out, I got a backup where I can go get it real quick that nobody else knows about, because if you let other people know about it,
Right.
they're going to go and get it. But you got to hide some things,
That's
right?
what
You got to hide some things. Why? That's my contingency. That's my contingency. We can go and make a grocery run and forget to pick up something. But I got a backup here. Because I got a backup here, right? And then once I use it, I create a new backup. But this is what I'm talking about, is how we are prepared. A soldier must be prepared for battle. Must have what they need and a backup. Does everybody understand?
Yes,
All right. Plan B remains secondary only while Plan A is still in motion and functional. Now, you got to understand what that means. Plan B remains secondary only while Plan A is still in motion and functional. That means Plan A is still working. Remember them 4 tires? They're still working. That's why the spare tire stays in the trunk. I don't need it, but I have it. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
That's right.
Yeah. Listen, when you use your spare tire, that don't become your main tire.
It becomes the backup plan.
Listen, if you make your spare tire your main tire, you don't have a spare tire. A spare tire is only supposed to be on there temporarily. I mean, you got to go get another tire.
That's right.
It might put you back on the road, but it's not supposed to keep you on the road. It's supposed to sustain you until you go get another tire.
Yeah.
Yes. And make the backup the backup. Yeah. Right? Take the backup and put it back up. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Right? Am I speaking the truth here?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, that's right. It's the backup, so put it back up. All right. When Plan A fails, watch this, Plan B immediately becomes Plan A. All right,
Yes.
let me say this, right?
Exactly.
When Plan A fails, Plan B immediately becomes Plan A. Plan B acts as a stabilizer, filling in the gaps, correcting the course, and sustaining forward momentum. Watch this. An effective Plan B should do what? These are some of the things that an effective Plan B should do. An effective Plan B should be rooted in truth and informed by knowledge and past experience. So there's got to be a lot of thought that goes into what you consider to be a Plan B, because it's got to stabilize the situation. It's got to fill the gaps. Right? When you jump out of an airplane, you have a parachute. Your Plan B is your reserve chute. If your parachute don't work, you better know that the reserve works.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, you can't be guessing. You have to know that the reserve chute works, because your life depends on it. That's why the reserve chute must be rooted in truth, informed by knowledge and past experience. You got to make sure that your Plan B can fill the gaps, that it can correct the course, it can sustain forward momentum. You cannot be guessing when it comes to your Plan B. Some of us have a spare tire in our trunk. If I ask you right now, do you got a spare tire? You'll say yes, but you ain't never checked it.
Well, I know.
See how that works?
Yes, sir.
Some of us ain't never seen it.
Someone see where it is.
Yeah, exactly. Some of us, the day you get a flat is the day you start looking for your spare tire.
Yeah, where is it?
Yes. Don't even know where it is. Don't know how to take it out. Don't know how. Like, there's a whole lot you don't know how to do because you have not had or built a relationship with your Plan B.
Wow.
I'm just telling you how we should think. All right. An effective Plan B should contain as many guarantees and certainties as possible. Does everybody see that? So when you do Plan B, you should have as many guarantees and as many certainties as possible. Okay? Be designed not to just survive failure, but to sustain purpose and direction through it, right? So it should be able to hold me until I can get a new plan A. Does everybody understand?
That's it.
Yes, that's why. Remember when the scripture gives us in Ecclesiastes 11, it talks about like sowing the seed in the morning, but in the evening, to withhold not thine hand. Why? We should be working on something else significant. So you're working on that second thing significant while you have something already as your priority. Because you don't know which one is going to be more profitable or if they both can be profitable at the same time. A lot of us are just relying on a single source of income. And if you lose your job, you get fired, or something happens, you have no income coming in. It's just like driving on 4 tires and getting a flat and you don't have a spare. Some of us are living our economic lives that way. And we're telling everybody we're good. If you're a male and you have a single source of income and you have a family to take care of, that means everything and everybody in that household is depending on your plan A. And you're not smart enough to understand that I need to be working a plan B simultaneously with this plan A. I got to supplement some kind of way, because if something ever happens and I can't just be looking and saying I got fired, I don't have a job. You should have a plan B that sustains your plan A until you go and find a new one. Does everybody see it? You shouldn't have to hit rock bottom. That's how unprepared people live. Prepared people shouldn't live that way. Prepared people knows that I still have a moral obligation even when things happen.
That's it.
So all of these things become important. All right. Another bullet. Always ask yourself, what is my contingency plan? That's a question that you should always ask yourself. What is my contingency plan? To everything that you do, you should be asking yourself that. If the unexpected occurs, what will carry me forward? That's another way to look at it. What is my contingency plan? Well, if the unexpected occurs, what will carry me forward? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So get a screenshot of that. We talked about the importance of having a backup plan. We need to always have that backup plan, that contingency plan, that plan B. We should always, always, always have that, because that's what sustains us in a crisis.
Exactly.
All right. We got about 5 minutes, so I'm going to yield back the balance of my time. Hopefully, I said some things that will help you tonight to be a little bit more productive and be that light that shines in the midst of darkness.
That's right. A lot of things have been said that need to be implemented in our daily lives. And I see quite a few people that are listening, and I hope they got what they should be receiving all along, and make it a stepping stone for continuance in life. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
And I want to applaud these people for joining in. There's a song, that says "Silent River Run Deep." There are a lot of silent people listening in, and we thank them for listening, because there is something that is reaching them, and we are all happy about that. And we thank you, Dr. Benjamin, for your constant refilling of what people needs, or what we all need. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
So I yield to Evangelist Green.
Well, Dr. Green, you said it all. Thank you so much. Oh, I mean,
We can't hear you.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Green, you said it all. So thank you so much for everyone that came out, that listened, that watched, that took notes. You know, we really appreciate you all. You know, yeah, we like Dr. Green has said, so a lot of people don't say anything. We don't ask questions because we're listening. We're taking it in. Yes. And we really appreciate you. Yes. And until tomorrow, happy birthday, all born in the month of August. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, anyway, you all have a good night. Until tomorrow. I guess y'all be back tomorrow. And thank you, Sister.
You know what you're trying to say, Dr. Benjamin? You know what you're trying to say?
What's that, sir?
She dropping a hint.
I ain't trying to say nothing.
Tomorrow is her birthday.
Oh, yeah.
In another 2 hours.
Oh. All right. Well, we're going to celebrate in another 2 hours.
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
Well, happy birthday to you, Evangelist Green. Enjoy your day all day.
Thank you. Thank you. I will. I will. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, God is so good, you know.
You get to act like a teenager all day tomorrow.
I'm always a teenager. I might not.
No,
that
ain't right.
A teenager.
That ain't right.
You
You
get to
act
act,
like a teenager, you know who that gonna cost, right?
yes, sir. That's why I said it. Dr. Green will get it all cleaned up. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about anything.
Oh, well.
You know,
Yeah.
I have came a long ways in life, you know. So I have so much to be
Mhm.
thankful for. I have my plan A and I have my plan B, and you know what? I even keep a plan C in my back pocket too, you know. So I just thank
Yeah.
you all for coming out, you know. And until tomorrow, God bless. God bless.
All right.
Keep your
All
smile
right.
on your face. Keep your head
Thank
up.
you. Good night, Sister Carolyn.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's none like
Oh, yeah.
you. God bless Dr. Green.
Man.
Okay.
Recording stopped.
There's none like you. I like that song, so you know what? I'm going to play it again and again, just at least one more time, okay? I have to look back for it so you all enjoy it. And like I said, happy birthday to all born in the month of August. You know, happy anniversary, and just stay safe. Yes.
All right.
Amen. I can't find it.
God bless everyone.